In today's clip, I'm going to tell you the list of criteria that I use to find a place to live. Personal to me, obviously, but maybe you can find some inspiration. I'll limit it down to the states of the Union this time, but the concept should remain relevant if further extrapolation on a global scale is needed. Heyo, Zenpuk here, another day not working for the man. So today's topic is how do you pick a place to live, especially in the world where you're financially independent, okay? So I did my soul searching around 2017 because I knew I was about to get to fire, but honestly, you can decide to move whenever you'd like. I know it's expensive, but take it from a guy who's moved 3 times by choice as an adult. Okay? It can be reinvigorating, because human beings can be too much of a creature of routine and habit, and nothing like a move to kick one's own butt in unexpected ways. Okay? So here are my list of criteria that I use. Number 1, I wanted to live somewhere warmer. Warmer than comparatively, for me, it was compared to California, and then previously it was compared to New York City. Okay, so I basically just kept moving to warmer places. Eventually, I'm going to end up right at the equator on some Caribbean island somewhere, I assume. That's the plan anyway. So, what does this criteria exclude, right? So, out goes the ski towns and the Rocky Mountains. We can always visit, not that big of a deal. Okay. Criteria number 2, I wanted to live in a red state. Okay, well, like I said, I was picking a place to live right after the orange douche became president. And instead of being in denial, because I'm a problem solver and not a whiner, I wanted to really kind of get to understand the other side. No more coastal bubble, right? I wanted to at least be in proximity of people whose lives are dramatically different from mine. So what did we eliminate with this criteria? Well, Pacific Northwest, honestly most of the West Coast, and the old northeastern corridor. Those guys, get out of here. Right. Number 3 criteria, I wanted a place that's not car dependent. Right. This one's relatively depending on where you're coming from. Right. Since I've always come from very dense cities, I'm used to walking around for my everyday needs. I still wanted to maintain that aspect of my life. Okay, it's healthier to walk, and most people's car choices are not so much for fun, but really to keep up with the Joneses, right? I think I've talked about this intermittently through my other videos. Okay, car purchases are just dumb. Okay, so basically that rules out suburbs and the countryside right there. Okay, criteria number 4, a sense of character. Now, this is super subjective. Compared to who you are, right? I love cities and I love culture, much more so than nature. So for example, I can tell you when I was looking for a place to live by myself, my final choices came down to New Orleans, Austin, Texas, and Charleston, okay? 3 southern-ish cities with character and history. Now, I want to be clear. There's some good and some bad history in all these places, right? But that can legitimately be said about any place worth visiting or living. Okay? Towns that I don't count as having character would be, ones where tourism is the only trade or industry, for instance. Hint, hint, Vegas. Boo. Yeah, no culture there. Criteria number 5, proximity to water. This is also a pretty personal preference, right? Some people like different things like winter sports, right? Like or like, outdoor rallies or like monster trucking or whatever. I like swimming. Oh, wait, just kidding. I don't know how to swim, but I still like looking at water. I find it intuitively calming. Since I fancy myself as a poet, it's also one of the most cliche of inspirational, natural aspects, right? Those roaring oceans and streams. So places in states like Arizona or New Mexico would be out of the question by this standard, right? And finally, criteria number 6, a healthy distance from family. Yeah, again, if you want to hang out with your folks, that's cool. For me, a long drive, hopefully slightly more than 10 hours, is perfect because I want to see them, but I am, not really all for any parental visits for a very long time, right? So let's keep the visits to a manageable clip, shall we say. This is really personal. Obviously, it eliminates places relative to your situation, right? If you already live in the same town as your parents or not, okay? In the end, I find it this idea of how to find a place to live. It's really a combination of how each city qualifies for any of these criteria or all of these criteria that led me to where I am. How about you? Are you stuck to a particular location because of a job or family reasons? Or have you simply not thought of moving, up and going, right? I want to end like this. This is America. You have the freedom to go wherever you'd like within this country. This is a freedom that not everyone on the planet even has, so take advantage and, well, move and be inspired.